Financial markets are giving us the first signs of the first recovery. Do you think that it's going to last?
I think what's going to happen is we've probably passed the worst psychology of the crisis. I think the panic is probably passed. On the other hand, the structural imbalances that caused those problems are still there.
Which area?
Well, for example, the large deficit in the U.S., the low savings rate, the large foreign trade account deficits, the fact that we are, in the U.S., is essentially importing capital from the world like crazy. And there is a sense in which we have unsustainable relationships. Debt ratios that are growing at rates that look like, we're at 30, 40% of the GDP in debt. If this trend is extrapolated, we'll get to 100% within a few years, within 10 years. And the only way that can be covered would be to raise taxes substantially or to inflate, some combination of those. So the U.S. has to face serious structural imbalances. My guess is that Italy and Germany as well. Look at German economy right now. The German economy is in free fall, partly because it's an export economy. And what's happened is, and the Italian economy is also not doing so well, as you know. And that's partly also, it's an export-driven economy, and it's got serious structural imbalances of its own. So I think this crisis highlights a lot of problems that people have been talking about, but really makes it clear that we need probably much greater flexibility in markets, much greater response. And my greatest fear about all this is that precisely because one part of the market was not regulated very well, that there will be a greater reliance now, much less of a trust on all markets, that there will be kind of a turning away from markets and not recognizing that some markets still need to be opened up. Like the labor market in Italy should probably be opened up, and for that matter in Germany.
Yeah.
So my greatest fear about all this is that the move to have greater regulation in financial markets may carry over to other markets as well. And I think probably if Italy needs anything, it needs a lot less regulation in its labor market. It probably needs to have much more flexibility. The OECD has been saying that for years. Economists have been saying that for years. Everybody's been saying that for years. And this inflexibility is not helping at all right now in the crisis. So the brunt, who's bearing the brunt of all this? The young people, the students entering the market, the disadvantaged, and the immigrants coming into Italy, the people who are relatively marginal in the larger economy. That hasn't changed, and now the crisis has just brought out something that's even worse. A very bad aspect of the Italian situation.